Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. The Hallmark and soap opera world has always known Greg Vaughan as a familiar, comforting presence. For years, audiences welcomed him into their homes, watched him bring romance, conflict, and heart to beloved characters, and followed his journey both on and off screen. But today, the spotlight isn't on a new project or a career milestone. It's something far more personal, far more human. Greg Vaughan has shared a deeply emotional tribute following a devastating loss, and the words he chose have resonated with fans in a way few scripted moments ever could. Loss has a way of stopping time. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare, and it certainly doesn't care how strong, successful, or prepared someone believes they are. In his tribute, Greg didn't try to sound polished or composed. Instead, his message felt raw, honest, and stripped of any performance. It was the voice of someone navigating grief in real time, trying to make sense of a world that suddenly feels different. What stood out immediately was the gratitude woven through his pain. Rather than focusing only on what was taken away, Greg spoke about what was given: love, lessons, laughter, and memories that will never fade, even as the ache remains. He acknowledged how profoundly this person shaped his life, not just in grand ways, but in the quiet, everyday moments that often mean the most once they're gone. There was no attempt to hide the heartbreak. He openly shared how heavy the loss feels, how certain days are harder than others, and how grief doesn't follow a straight line. One moment you're standing strong, the next you're undone by a memory, a song, or a simple thought. His words reminded people that grief isn't weakness. It's proof of love. Deep love leaves deep marks, and Greg didn't shy away from admitting just how deep this one goes. Fans quickly noticed how personal the tribute felt. This wasn't a carefully worded statement released through a publicist. It was Greg speaking directly from his heart, choosing vulnerability over distance. In doing so, he invited others into his experience, not for sympathy, but for connection. And that connection mattered. Countless people responded, sharing their own stories of loss, offering support, and thanking him for saying what so many struggle to put into words. In his message, Greg reflected on how loss changes perspective. Things that once seemed urgent suddenly don't matter as much. Priorities shift. Relationships feel more precious. Time becomes something you wish you could slow down. He spoke about carrying forward the values and love he received, honoring the person he lost not only in words, but in how he chooses to live each day moving forward. There was also an undercurrent of faith and hope in his tribute. Not the kind that erases pain, but the kind that sits beside it. Greg acknowledged that healing doesn't mean forgetting, and moving forward doesn't mean leaving anyone behind. Instead, it means learning how to carry love in a new way. Love that no longer shows up in physical presence, but lives on in memory, influence, and spirit. For longtime fans, seeing Greg in this light was powerful. They've watched him portray complex emotions on screen for years, but this was different. This was real. This was a reminder that behind every familiar face is a real person facing the same heartbreaks and struggles as everyone else. Fame doesn't protect anyone from loss. It doesn't soften the blow or speed up healing. If anything, it can make vulnerability feel even more daunting. Yet Greg chose openness anyway. He chose to share his grief publicly, knowing it might help someone else feel less alone. And judging by the response, it did exactly that. People from all walks of life reached out, thanking him for his honesty, telling him how his words helped them process their own losses, sometimes years after the fact. The tribute also highlighted the importance of remembering, not just mourning. Greg spoke about celebrating the life that was lived, the love that was shared, and the impact that will continue long after the goodbye. He reminded everyone that while loss leaves an emptiness, it also leaves behind a legacy. And that legacy deserves to be honored, spoken about, and carried forward. As the days move on, Greg Vaughan will undoubtedly continue his work, return to familiar roles, and step back into the public eye in new ways. But this moment, this tribute, will remain significant. It showed a side of him that isn't scripted or rehearsed. A man in mourning, choosing love over silence, reflection over avoidance. Grief doesn't have a timeline, And Greg made it clear that healing is not about rushing through pain. It's about allowing yourself to feel it, to acknowledge it, and to lean on others when needed. His words served as a gentle reminder that it's okay to be strong and broken at the same time. It's okay to miss someone deeply and still find reasons to smile. It's okay to talk about loss, even when it hurts. In sharing his tribute, Greg Vaughan didn't just honor someone incredibly important to him. He opened a space for conversation, compassion, and understanding. He reminded fans that behind every role, every smile, and every success story, there is a human heart capable of immense love and immense pain. And perhaps that's why his message hit so hard. It wasn't about celebrities. It wasn't about headlines. It was about love, loss, and the courage to speak when silence might feel easier. In a world that often moves too fast, Greg's words encourage people to pause, reflect, and hold a little tighter to those they love. Loss may change everything, but love remains. And through his heartfelt tribute, Greg Vaughan made sure that love was seen, felt, and remembered. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.